The comeback, the transformation, the new beginning. The hours we put in when no one was watching. The long nights, the drive to make it right. The work you don't see until it starts to show. The comeback. Every sprint, every push, every release. All for this. We rebuilt what needed to be better. To deliver the RMM
Wait! You forgot to put a closing bracket there.
Oh, yeah.
To deliver the RMM you asked for. The one you deserve. Because that's who it's for. You. The techs who pushed us. The users who challenged us. The Redditors who Reddited us. This is the comeback. We made a stronger tool that's automation ready with more patching, smarter alerts, faster scripts, and deeper data visibility. ConnectWise RMM.
Visit the ConnectWise booth to learn more.
Hello and welcome. I'm Jessica Jacobs, Senior Director of Product Support at ConnectWise.
And I'm Reese Crosby, Partner Development Executive at ConnectWise as well. Welcome to the winners of the PitchIT contest.
Yeah, so we have some special guests with us today. Sean Lardo, our VP of IT Nation Communities. Zach Krumkowski, founder of Sention and head coach and last year's winner of PitchIT. And then we are presented with our winner, CEO of Strategy Overview, Alex Markov. Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody.
It's awesome.
It's truly an honor.
It is.
It really is.
So how does it feel? What are the emotions going through you right now?
I think the number one emotion is pride for Juliet and her bravery, because when I was her age, I wouldn't be able to do that. And just, I think the adrenaline is still coming through. So pride and joy.
And Julia, she introduced you on stage, right? Your daughter?
She introduced me on stage. Yep, it was her idea to actually come to IT Nation. And here's
Juliet, come over on this side on the stage.
We might have one more special guest to really show the actual prize that Alex earned.
Oh, right there.
There you go.
Yay!
All right.
So Alex, as a father, what was it like seeing your daughter introduce you on stage?
I mean, she actually won the student representative in class. She went out, and she's in second grade, and so she's into being out there, and that, I mean, I don't have enough words to say how proud I am.
Well, it does sound like you are, very overwhelmed. Has it really sunk in yet?
I envisioned this. I envisioned having him stand next to me, and what I didn't envision is them calling Juliet's name, which I think was like incredible.
I will say I was caught off guard in the crowd. I was like, oh, wait, that is my guy.
Yeah, that's awesome. So for anybody who missed your pitch, what's the difference between your solution and some of the others that were offered at the space?
So why we're different is we've automated the QBR. We've actually been able to connect ConnectWise, all the documentation platforms, and be able to automate a QBR, saving an MSP thousands of hours a year. So they can actually focus on what matters: family, friends, and IT leadership for their clients.
So where did that idea come from? Like, what was the catalyst for it?
So I started an MSP, and I was a VCIO for 10 years. And when Juliet was born, I was finding myself having to work late to do QBRs on spreadsheets, and there was no apps out there, and putting together asset lists and to deliver good service to clients. So it really was the catalyst on trying to come up with a better way to actually do this.
So I know you mentioned time with family. How do you put a value to this, and how the ConnectWise partners can
That's
take
priceless.
Yeah.
Being able to have a platform that can take that role, but then for the MSP, like the people that are doing VCIO work, the people who are doing QBR work, the people that are managing accounts and leading accounts, they're some of the most expensive, most time precious people in the entire MSP space. And they're the quarterbacks of the entire MSP. So being able to save thousands of hours a year for VCIOs and IT leaders is also I mean, there's a value there, like a real ROI, but them having more freedom is priceless too.
Great. And then Zach, for you, how did you help coach with the solution and the presentation?
I mean, where did we start? We met probably at least a dozen times.
Yeah.
So
Very good coach.
I appreciate that. We probably met, would you say we had 8 weeks of coaching we went through?
Yeah.
About 2 months. And it was funny because my coaching style, I'm very blunt and direct. So kind of first time I was like, this is a little bit choppy, a little bit like kind of jumped from A to D to E. And I was like, it didn't really flow well. But being able to talk to him and seeing how receptive it was really cool to kind of see it all put together on stage. And honestly, while he was up there talking, dominant stage presence. Obviously, Juliet, some brownie points with the introduction, but very confident the entire time that he was going to get his name called.
Awesome. So what was surprising the most about working together?
Ooh, well, it was my first time doing something like this. Have you had a mentor or coach in a
No.
scenario like this?
No.
Well, it's for the first time for both of us. So, for me, new time manager style at my own company, but being a coach was a little bit different because it's not anything I can necessarily hold them to the fire on. They have to want to listen and want to really be receptive and actually take some of the input, right? And Alex I was very lucky to not have to fight with him. A lot of times I would end the call saying, hey, just to be perfectly transparent with you, all of my input is really heavily based in my style, and you don't need to present like me. You could take away what you need to, but make sure to keep it your own. And Alex was good enough to really take all the input I gave and found his own balance between it.
And I'll carry that forward to next year's Dynasty.
There you go.
We got a streak to keep up. For those who don't know who are listening, and Sean, honestly, you haven't said enough. Tell us about the streak going on.
So before I even took over the program, the very first winner was Jameson West. Jameson West later, when I redefined the program with Andrew Barrow 4 years ago, he was one of the first head coaches we selected. And he took Alert Ops to the championship. Alert Ops took Thread to the championship. Thread took Sention to the championship. And now here we are with Sention taking Strategy Overview to the championship. So there is a dynasty that has happened. And so I guess everybody's on notice.
Good stuff.
Well, let's keep that going. So, Alex, what was the toughest part about preparing for your final pitch?
The nerves, overcoming the nerves.
Like right now?
Yeah, like right now.
How many live interviews have you done?
A chunk. I'm on Zoom all day long. Does that count?
I think it does,
Kinda, right?
honestly. Respect to the sales field,
Yeah.
we do a lot of Zoom.
Yeah.
We don't have this.
No. So just the nerves, I think, because I'm confident in the product. I was confident in my coach. Confident in ConnectWise. I've been a member of the community for over 15 years. But just to get up there, I'm an engineer. I'm a techie at heart, and breaking out of my shell. But one of the reasons why it really came together that Juliet and my family came out is that I really do it all for them. So it really kind of tied together all perfectly.
Nice. So you mentioned you're a techie. So how did you balance the technical side with your storytelling?
That my coach helped me a lot with, to try to really equate it not just to features on what the product does, but to the real impact on my life and on the lives of all the VCIOs and MSPs that use Strategy Overview today.
Yeah,
How did you learn?
I mean, honestly.
How did you learn how to storytell?
So it goes back to an event where I may have been with one of my many mentors in my life, and he might be sitting at this table, and he was teaching me about lullabies and how those can relate to storytelling, and politely related actually my very first time getting to do a whole, I think, 2-minute presentation at a different show. First time public speaking, I actually got to talk to Sean, and he educated me on those storytelling, relating it to things that most people could relate to in their childhood. Key word.
Well, Zach, tell us from your perspective, what made his presentation, his pitch, truly shine?
Honestly, it was really the stage presence. This was funny. So I was sitting with some other people, obviously, in the audience, and one of the things they said to me had nothing to do with the words he was saying, nothing to do with the presentation deck. They actually said, look at this guy. He actually has his head and shoulders back, his posture's good, he's up there talking, and Alex also had a little bit of curveball too, because the mic took a couple seconds to turn on, and Alex wasn't shaken. He was able to kind of speak up, and again, that type of thing resonated, because live interviews, live presentations, you don't know what's going to happen. So I think the audience seeing that real person side, the real overcome, really gave him some extra brownie points there, and I do think that kind of pushed it over the edge.
I agree. I think you handled that really well. I was in there as well, and I could hear that mic not working, but you were loud enough and expressive enough that we knew what was still going on, and so you did really well with that. Zach, was there anything that you told him right before he went on stage? Any last-minute advice?
I did give some last-minute input. I very much emphasized relate to the audience. If you know anyone out there, try to give them a shout out, make sure you get them engaged, and he did just that. We actually talked about this going into the presentation. Show explicitly, without doubt, how a part of the community you are, because IT Nation, ConnectWise, that's the #1 driver for them. So if we're presenting on their behalf in our own company and at their show, we need to show further that their ConnectWise is investing into PitchIT finalists who want to continue reinvesting. So prior to the show and what he did on stage, we had a slide with a lot of the notable partners that they have, and was able to kind of give them a shout out on stage.
Awesome. So you're both PitchIT winners, right? How has the PitchIT experience affected your business?
Ooh, sounds like this one's more towards me, given I have the 12 months since.
Right.
So 12 months since winning PitchIT, we have actually used those funds, and I believe on stage, I said I was gonna use it a couple things. One, transparently, a little bit of that went to a new bicycle, but the rest of it did go into reinvesting for this show so that we could have a proper 10 by 10 booth outside of the pavilion area, and we did just that. And it's allowed us to feel confident in the ability to invest into shows, because this gave us the platform to really start to think about the money we put in, how much more we can get back when we do invest. So this $70,000 from myself in the last 12 months gave us the ability to experiment, a little A/B testing, and a lot of that did go back to IT Nation and Sean hooking us up with a little bit of a program, and now we're at this show and we're looking to continue keeping that up.
Awesome. So Alex, question for you. What's your next product or solution you're going to focus on in the future?
Oh, we're investing very heavily into AI. So we're launching AI ARIA Insights. Essentially all the data that we have, next year we're going to have ARIA analyze and be able to provide really valuable results and answer a lot of questions for MSPs. And running an MSP for the last 20-something years, and being in part of the MSP community, I know a lot of these things that take so long, like spreadsheets all over the place. So really infusing the engine that we've built over the last year that has automated the QBR process, but helping MSPs really unlock a lot of the data that they need.
So what does this win mean for your team and then for future ConnectWise partners?
I mean, the win is so special for the team because it's so difficult to put into words the amount of work that the whole team has done. The blood, sweat, and tears, the long nights, the weekends. Like we launched a release this weekend, and the team's been working nonstop. So really, I'm bringing this back for the team. I'm bringing this back for my family. I'm bringing this back for the IT Nation Evolve community, where I really learned how to run a business and learned the value of go-giving.
That's awesome. Congratulations again. So.
Yeah, that's really special. I think it does, it is a team effort, and you're the one up there presenting it, but there's so many people behind the lens that I'm sure helped put, the hard work and the effort, and so it really goes a long way. So congrats.
Yes. Congrats.
I'd like to hear from all three of you. What advice would you give to someone thinking about applying for a PitchIT?
Ooh. Definitely do it. It was funny, I have a story with a lot of my answers, but Sean again here, I had never heard of PitchIT prior to actually applying. I was at a GTI event, another IT Nation ConnectWise partner, and newer to the industry, was very early stage when we applied. It was early days of even having revenue, and I didn't know the industry. I didn't have a lot of friends to kind of coach me along the way at that time, and just kind of walking the floor. Sean, being the extrovert he is, was willing to tap me on the shoulder, heard my name from a friend. He's like, hey, we're taking applicants for this program. You should give it a try. And I think it was funny. I was like, I don't know if I should really give it a try. Is it really something I should do? And Sean, being the sales professional that he is, immediately that night went home, applied for it, and was very lucky to get in, which I told him at the time. I was like, if I apply, I'll get in. And he very confidently said back, not everybody gets in.
Correct.
So very much advice going into the next coach, make sure you just give it your all, commit to it. And if you haven't ever done public speaking like myself when I went into this for more than just a minute or two on stage, it's true. Yeah, that was really one of the first times. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. But give it your all and try to practice when you talk and practice before doing other things while you present. That was one of the things I shared with Alex, that practicing your pitch without the visuals while you're doing something completely unrelated makes you a little bit more comfortable when you might get a little overwhelmed on stage.
Fair point. I'll let you go last since you just won.
You need the most time to think about this.
Yes. People should apply. First off, it's hard enough to figure out where you belong in this space. To Zach's, even to his point, he wasn't sure what he was doing in the industry and where you should go and what you should do. Yep. So if anything, if you are to apply, is free, right? If you're accepted and you get into the program, take advantage of the program, because you're going to increase your network by 2 to 3-fold easily. Yep. You're going to meet industry experts that are all willing to help you, that are all donating their time. Plus, it gives you an inside access into being part of the IT Nation, because you're meeting a lot of the colleagues that help with the coaching, that are part of getting involved with the program. So you have that kind of access. And to add to that, we talked about the education, but also they're doing podcasts, they're working on their speak and everything else. If you ever look at the statistic, it's over 80% of small businesses go out of business within 2 years. You literally have a 2-year runway to do something. Otherwise, you're doing nothing. So to be able to jump onto a program that costs nothing, and you're going to do exactly what you were going to do anyway over that time, which is try to grow your business, it's almost a no-brainer. So why wouldn't you take advantage of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for me, a lot of connections came from the program. A lot of just knowing different other people in the SaaS world, and then learning a lot about how to run a software company better. I went through the ConnectWise IT Nation Evolve process, and I learned how to run a good MSP, but this was really also taking those skills to a new level of running a software company. And the program was so dynamic. There were so many different topics, and the speakers that came on this year was incredible. Yeah. So definitely my advice, apply, commit yourself, focus, and don't miss any of the weekly sessions, and you'll be a much stronger, better software company.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. I think, building a community is so important in the channel, and, this gives you a free opportunity to do that, so take advantage of it. So closing out here, Alex, what is one word to describe PitchIT?
Community.
Love that. Goes back to what we just mentioned, building that community, meeting other people in the channel. What do you hope your success inspires in others?
I hope it inspires other MSPs that see problems to go solve them, and I hope it inspires other software companies to go boldly forward.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Congrats again. Yes, very happy for you.
Happy you got the belt, brother.
Thanks, brother.
And you get to take away a belt.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys tomorrow.
We'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m.
Deuces.